Hey guys, it's me. Today I'm here with another shows I've watched recently video. I feel like I haven't done one of these that long ago, but like time's been flying, so who knows. I feel like I haven't really been watching a lot of TV, but at the same time I felt like the last video wasn't that long ago. I don't know if that's making sense. But yeah, I've got another 5 shows I watched recently, so let's talk about them. There's timestamps in the description if you just want to know about a certain show. So yeah, first off, we're starting off with Family Reunion Season 3. When the McKellen family moves from Seattle to Georgia to be closer to extended family, their transition is like being a catfish out of water. I honestly, this one is the worst in my memory. It's also been the longest since I've watched this. Like Season 4 is out already, I believe, so I apologize. But I remember not really being into Season 2 that much, and I definitely felt like this season was a little bit better. It felt a bit more natural and more like the first season, but then I still feel like we haven't hit the heights of the first season did with this one either. I don't know, I'm feeling a bit conflicted on the show, as in I am enjoying watching it and I do learn a lot throughout it in like a very fun way as well. And I feel like the show very much does keep a great balance, like there's learning moments about Black history and keeping it a lighthearted family sitcom, and I like the characters in it. I don't know, I'm not as attached to it as like I was Season 1, but I'm still gonna keep watching it. I watched it together with my mom, so we'll start Season 4 soon, I think. I don't know. That's all I have to say about it though. If you want to know more of my thoughts on the show, like definitely like click back in previous episodes of the shows I've watched recently series, because I have talked about Season 1 and Season 2 in a video, I believe. So yeah. Next up, we have Loki Season 1. The mercurial villain Loki resumes his role as the god of mischief in a new series that takes place after the events of Avengers Endgame. I was so excited for this show, but I was so disappointed by the end of it. I said beforehand, like, the only show that's gonna top WandaVision, possibly in excitement once WandaVision finished, I thought, like, from all the other MCU and now TV shows, I thought the only one that's gonna top it, maybe, is Loki, and then that didn't happen. I feel so disappointed. I don't hate the show. I feel like a lot of people, like, really don't like the direction the show went in and took Loki's character in. I don't hate it. I just also didn't like it that much. I really loved the first episode. I think the show started off so strong. And it's kind of like the opposite with WandaVision. With WandaVision, I had a feeling like every episode it got better. With this one, I felt like every episode got worse. I do think it introduced some interesting things for the future of the MCU. And I am excited for Season 2. Like, I am. Honestly, like, even though we've all been speculating that a Season 2 would be coming, when at the end of the last episode is that Loki will return for Season 2, I gasped and I screamed and I was excited. But I was disappointed by this. And, like, I feel like if you watch the show, you know the many reasons why one would be disappointed in the show. And all of them I agree with. I was let down, and I hate the fact that I was, because I really wanted to love this. So yeah, but like I said, still excited for Season 2, still excited for what everything that happened in the show will mean for the rest of the MCU. I don't know, wasn't the biggest fan of it. So moving on to me having the opposite reaction as most people. High School Musical, the series, Season 2. The students from the school where the High School Musical films were shot stage a musical production based on the franchise with Season 1. Season 2, they're doing Beauty and the Beast, which I first hated that idea, and I wanted them to do High School Musical 2 so badly, and then we got the first episode, we got like hints over what them doing High School Musical 2 would entail, and I was excited, and then we continued on, and I was like, you know what, I'm glad we did Beauty and the Beast, because, I don't know, my High School Musical obsessed brain can take most of all like the High School Musical things they did in this first season. Like, honestly, my main problems with the first season was like everything related to High School Musical. So I think they made the right decision to turn it into Beauty and the Beast eventually, having seen the entire season. And I know a lot of people, they don't like this season. Like, they don't like the music, just didn't really vibe with the plot as well. But I love this. I cried so many times throughout the show. I love every single song. Not every single song, but like most songs. And I was gonna do like a ranking of the songs of the second season. That's still coming, but I'm having a difficult time because I really love most of the songs. So I don't know where people are coming from because I really love it. I really like what they did with the characters and how they progressed them. And I really like the last episode just made me cry so much because it really showed the progression of like the main four characters, I would say, Gina, EJ, Ricky, and Nina. Both were used this season. But it really showed the progression that these characters went through over these 2 seasons so well. And I bawled my eyes out, and I'm not ashamed to say that. So yeah, I liked what they did this season. Unpopular opinion, I know that. I really love these characters. I really liked the fact that I feel like the first season was very much those 4 that I just listed at the forefront, and then like the other people just like doing things in the back. And I feel like this season gave the other characters more of an opportunity to have like their moment in the spotlight and also show off the character and like their motivations and everything. And I really like that, and I can't wait for season 3. Like, oh my god. That's one thing I can agree with the majority on. The way they ended the second season is honestly, it's a blasphemy. Like, I needed just like 5 seconds more. Like, was it too much to ask? Apparently so. But hopefully we're getting it in season 3. I am excited to see what they're gonna do with season 3 because the way the season 2 left off, if they're gonna get a season 3, I feel like that's gonna cover like summer break. And like, I'm curious what they're gonna do with that. So yeah, I'm really excited about the show and everything about it. And I don't know why people were hating on it because I loved it. Moving on. Then the next show I watched is Bridgerton season 1. Well, Lust and Betrayal set against the backdrop of Regency-era England, seen through the eyes of the powerful Bridgerton family. If you've been on my channel and like watched every video I post, you know that I have been reading the Bridgerton series, and I also wanted to watch the show like immediately after I finished book 1, but then I remembered that they do the Later Whistle Down reveal at the end of season 1, and I was like, I want to read that first in the books because I was spoiled for it, and I just want to know how it turned out in the books first because I love the character. And I'm so glad I did that in a sense. In a way, I'm glad I did that. In a way, I'm not. I'm glad I did that because I really loved having that reveal in the book, and oh, that was so good. And then I also really liked how Lady Whistledown reveal in the show. That was just a reveal for the viewer, which I was scared they were going to reveal it to like a character, like a single one. And I was just like, no, because like that's I didn't like it because I thought that was gonna affect the way it was gonna be revealed in the book. But it was just revealed to the viewer, like none of the characters know at the end of season, which I really appreciated because I didn't think it was gonna go that route, how the season was going. So I really like how that was done for the viewer. So yay. The books weren't ruined for me. Yay. Well, in that aspect, I really enjoyed this show. I thought it was a lot of fun. I really liked the aesthetics of it. And they did make a lot of changes from the books, which makes sense. And the first book is just focused on Daphne's and Simon's like relationship, and I feel like making like an entire season out of that would be boring. So I get why they added in a couple more storylines and like the changes they made, understandable. But even though I liked most of the changes they made, like I loved the storyline with like the cousin from the Featheringtons coming. I like that storyline. The only thing that did was it broke my heart for Penelope so much. That's one reason why I wish I hadn't read the 4th book before going into the show, because that was rough to watch and I didn't like it. But overall I liked the storyline. And I also liked the storyline that Eloise got trying to figure out who Lady Whistledown is. I really like that as well. Quite like Benedict's storyline as well, even though I do have some issues with it. I like having his passion for art being introduced earlier than just in his book. Having that just lettered throughout a little bit. I really like that. And just small element to it, I'm like, I don't know, this kind of messes up a little bit of a story for the book, but like it's not that major. I don't mind. But then we get to Anthony's subplot, and I hate it. Because it completely ruins his character. And I don't know how they're going to do the 2nd season, which is his love story. Because, honestly, the way I think it's going to go is him now thinking, like, love sucks because my heart's got broken once. Like, my ego can't handle being heartbroken, like, one time. So therefore, I decide that love is the most evil thing in the world. Which is so opposite from Anthony's actual motivations in the book, that I want to scream so badly. I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate it. I'm scared for season 2, but I like the aesthetic. I like the vibes. yeah, moving on. I talked way too long about Bridgerton compared to like the other two shows, so I apologize. I just have thoughts, and I'm curious like if you're a fan of the books and who's watched the show as well, if you feel the same way, because I haven't seen anyone talk about it that has been a fan of the books. So yeah, want to know about that. Okay, next up, lastly for today, also probably the show I like the most out of this list. I don't know, I looked forward to watching this. I was happy, didn't cry, maybe teared up a little bit, but like High School Musical series like broke my heart several times. I don't want that in my life. iCarly, the revival, season 1, a group of best friends creating a webcast while grappling with everyday problems and adventures. I love this, which I wasn't expecting when they first announced this. When I first announced an iCarly revival, I was like, I don't want this. Like, nobody wants this, I'm sure of it. Because iCarly had a great ending. And I knew Jeanette McCurdy wasn't going to be in it because her history with the acting world and like not wanting to act anymore. And I was like, I don't know if they will be able to like pay respect to the character of Sam in the show the way I would want it and most fans would want it. And I was very hesitant because I was like, because even though I like some revivals like Full House, I quite like that, but like it's not great compared to Full House. And like there's a lot of examples of that where I'm just like, I don't know. And then the trailer dropped and I was like, oh fuck, this actually kind of looks good. And then I watched interviews with the cast and I heard like their intentions about the show, and I was like, oh, this could actually be great because they're just trying to do the same thing but like for an older audience. They are growing with the audience that they originally had. Like they're not trying to create a new iCarly for kids. They're trying to actually fully cater to the adult audience now that originally like were kids with the original show. I was like, okay, I might check this out. And then like I think they dropped the first 2 episodes, if I remember correctly, or first 3 at the same time. No, the first 2 I think. And I watched those and I was sold. Like honestly, they're not the best episodes of this season. Like the season progressively gets better throughout the season. The second half of the show is like much better than the first half, but they still had me hooked because I really liked where they took these characters. I really liked what they were doing with the show. Now I think they paid great respect to Sam, so I really like the new 2 characters. I was a bit scared with Harper, who is Carly's best friend in the show, that they were going to try and replicate Sam's character. They didn't do that. Harper is very different and I love her. She's amazing. And then I also really like Millicent and her dynamics with Freddie and how that grew throughout the season as well. I really loved. And overall, I don't think this show is an absolute masterpiece, but I do think it's a whole lot of fun and it's a great continuation from the first show. And I think if you were a big fan of iCarly originally, you're also really gonna like this show. And I really had a great time in it, and I hated the fact that it was over this week. So yeah, those are my thoughts on iCarly revival, and I'm so excited for the second season, so I'm glad we're getting it as well. And yeah, that's all for today. Let me know in the comment below if you've watched any of these shows that you thought, and as well some of the shows you watched recently, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. Good? Here I am again, the same old situation. What does the guy